Billy got it bumping.
Leg drop, boot to the face, we won't fold. Quick to put a dude in this place, he out cold. With a tombstone, grapple the waist, get laid flat. Can't escape, nowhere to go, the cage match. It's on now, when I spot him, it's no problem. Everybody stone cold till they hit with the rock bottom. Sharpshooter, I won't miss him like Bret Hart. Like Al Snow, they gon' need him a head start. I just might catch a better body than Mickey James. Get acquainted with the name, we bringin' the pain. Like Kane in the ring, all I see is red. Paul era, Undertaker, I can see the dead. John Cena putting hands in your face. 10 DBS, keep a milli on the waist. B2TF, better stay in your place or get smacked down, play it safe. What you talking about?
Welcome to another episode of Boot to the Face. Chris Rucker, E.J. Reed here on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and whatever other podcast platforms you so desire to listen to. EJ, we've been off for a week. Feels like it's been about a month. So much shit's happened in the world of pro wrestling. But what have you been up to?
Just keeping on, working and just doing me. You've been in Vegas and since the last time and had a little bit too much fun there, didn't you?
I guess I was yelling and screaming too. Vegas is fun. Vegas is a different animal. So I was there. I got there Thursday night. Hung out with my buddy Brent. We went and I watched him play poker. Watching professional poker players play like in real time, bro, it's a whole different animal. Like at one point, the dealer was dealing to about 10, 15 people playing. Nobody said a word, but you could see the communication going with everybody. Like they were checking, they were betting, they were folding, they were calling, they were doing all this shit, but nobody was talking. And it was like sign language in a whole different way. And my buddy, he sat there and he made like $1,200 in the 2 hours I was sitting there. And then we left and woke up Friday, worked out because I'm still in the midst of the 75 soft challenge that I'm doing. And Friday went to watch the fight at Circa and ran into the tattoo artist that I met the last time I was out there. He and his wife. And he's like, oh, let me introduce you to my buddy. This is Rico. And I'm like,
that's hilarious.
Rico looks familiar. He goes, well, yeah, he's a porn star. It's Rico Strong.
Oh, snap.
So I hung out with Rico Strong, watched the Tyson fight. He was cool as hell though. And watched the fight with them and got way too drunk and stumbled back to my hotel and gambled. I didn't do as well as I wanted to gambling, but I still came out ahead. So all in all, I mean, it was good. I ate some really good food. Like I took advantage of, this was the first time I really took advantage of all the comps that I get. And I mean, my allergy started acting up. I went to a little convenience store and used my comps for that. Bought a couple drinks that weren't free, used my comps for that. Ate at 2 really good steakhouses, used my comps for that. Like, as far as spending money, the only thing I really spent money on this time was Uber. Just Ubering back and forth. It was an Usher concert in town, and they were getting ready for the F1 series, so like Uber shit was surging like crazy. So I spent probably $150, $200 just on the Ubers, including like to and from the airport. But other than that, man, it was a good time. It sucked. I found out one of my favorite cheap restaurants to go to was called Ocean One in Planet Hollywood. They fucking closed down for good. So that sucks. During our guys trip, me, Jason Brown, Tommy, and Black Ice, we all went there, and it was like $6.99 entrees and 3 for $12 drinks. Like, I don't know why this place closed down, because I figured it'd be a spot to go to in Vegas for people that are trying to, eat good on a budget. But yeah, Vegas fun as usual, man.
It probably made it a little bit too cheap. Maybe that's why they went out of business with the economy these days. But yeah, Rico Strong. I guess he leaves his work at home. He didn't have any female accompany him.
So there was at the bar, he was sitting at the bar, and the guy I knew, David, that knew him, his wife and her friend were sitting next to him, and me and David were standing up with the other woman's boyfriend or husband or whatever, and we're all talking, and he was just sitting there like cool. And I noticed there was these two chicks. One was next, she was standing next to me, and the other one was standing next to him. She was like taking a video of her, and I was like, "Are you doing that because you know that guy's a porn star?" And the girl goes, "What the fuck?" And I was like, "Yeah, Google Rico Strong." And she called her friend over. I was like, "He's a fucking porn star." Some little thug ass white girl was her friend. Like she was, your regular poodle in the purse white girl, but the other one was kind of a little too thuggy. So she got over and took a picture with her, and then me and the other girl kind of like argued about football and the fight the whole night. But yeah, he was like he wasn't surrounded by like women everywhere. He was just a regular fucking dude, like sitting at the bar watching a Tyson fight. And at one point, my buddy's wife and her girlfriend got up and they were like, "Y'all sit right here so we don't lose our seats." And I sit down, I turn around, I'm next to him, and me and him are sitting there talking about football, and I was telling him about pro wrestling and shit like that. Now, I don't remember everything we talked about because I was pretty drunk, but I remember thinking in my head, like, porn stars are just like us.
Who would have thought? Just like normal people.
I
Yeah.
texted my girlfriend at one time. I was like, "I'm hanging out with a porn star," and of course, she probably thought it was a female porn star.
Yeah.
And I was like, "No, it's Rico Strong." And she texted me back, "He's got a big fucking dick." I was like, "Okay, that's enough. Like, put the Google
Nobody.
down."
Yeah, nobody told you to go and research it. Just wanna let you know.
Right? What are you doing? You got a
Oh,
tape measure out? What the hell's happening?
you when did you go back again
When I go back,
to Atlanta after Vegas? What day was that?
Sunday morning, early Sunday
Oh,
morning.
ooh, so you were there when John Jones was fighting, but you probably had to leave early, I guess. So you probably didn't get to go anywhere to
He
watch it.
fought Saturday, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
you said it
I
Sunday.
missed it though. I wasn't I was what the fuck was I doing Saturday? Oh, I was gambling. I was gambling Saturday night.
Mm.
I was like up and down, and then I went to Planet Hollywood and gambled there for a minute, and that's when I found out my restaurant was closed. I completely forgot about the John Jones fight, honestly, or else I probably would have went back to Circa.
I didn't know Circa showed the fights and whatnot. They have like a
So
map with. Yeah, go ahead.
Circa is probably the best sports book in Vegas. So they have the biggest sports book, like it's fucking huge. And then they have a huge like their wall at the bottom is just a big ass bar with TVs everywhere. So if you can't get to the sports book, you just go to the bar. And then if it's summertime, they have Stadium Swim at the top where you go in and it's just pools and a big ass scoreboard with video. Like Circa is the best place to watch any kind of sporting event in my opinion in Vegas. Like it's just and it's on Fremont, so like you walk outside and you get the fucking freak show and the cheap drinks and shit like that. But yeah, I love Circa, and Circa's also 21 and up. Like no kids are allowed in that casino.
Yeah, the more you know. Um, yeah, that's crazy though about the uh, what you call it F1 because it was last weekend. So I guess when you were there, they were still setting up for it. How
Yeah,
they set it up throughout like the whole city, like on some video game stuff.
traffic was so trash too, EJ. Like you're just trying to get from one place to the other, and they've got so much construction and shit. It's one of the reasons why the Uber prices were so high.
Yeah, that's a pain in the ass. So I guess you saw how it was set up.
I honestly wasn't paying attention. I got there Thursday night, probably around 8:30, and I went straight to my hotel. Um, and then I left early Sunday morning. I left my hotel probably 5:30 Sunday morning to catch a 7 o'clock flight. So that was the only time I was really on the strip besides Ubering back and forth from Planet Hollywood. But again, like, I'm in Vegas. I'm drunk. I'm not paying attention. Like, them motherfuckers could kidnap me if they wanted to.
It's the only way to do Vegas.
Yeah. Um, what was I was about to tell you something about Vegas and I can't remember now just that fast. But anyway, I love Vegas. Just a lot of fucking fun always. Yeah, I'll probably go out there one more time before WrestleMania starts, but WrestleMania will be out there. I'll be out there for that. Like, I can only imagine what the fucking Uber prices. And honestly, I might rent a fucking car during WrestleMania.
Might be the way to go. I mean, it's also a pain in the ass driving, especially if you got to drive
Yeah,
anywhere near the strip.
and then trying to stay sober for it. You might be right. You just talked me out of
Yeah,
it.
but
Uber's way cheaper than DUI.
but I don't know if it will be too bad because it's at Raider Stadium. It's not like on the strip. It'll so if you hit it the right time, you could probably get decent prices.
Well, see, I'm staying at Luxor for WrestleMania, and if you go through Luxor and Mandalay Bay, there's a tunnel that goes across that connects to Allegiant Stadium. So you never have to like go outside. You can just walk through the hotel, that little area we walked through when we went to the Speakeasy where you met us at. You just do that again through Mandalay Bay, and it takes you right to Allegiant Stadium. Like, you don't even have to go outside. And so that's where I'm staying. But I fucking like Fremont Street. I get a lot of comps for Circa and the D. Those are the two best steakhouses. And honestly, I have much more fun and much more luck gambling over there too. So I'll probably go at least 1 or 2 days downtown. Maybe I'll see if I can get me a free room down there also and just kind of go back and forth.
Hey, it seems like the best bet then.
Yeah. Or maybe I'll get a free room for the weekend and just fucking put it up on eBay or something, charge somebody like $200 a night. It'll probably be way cheaper than WrestleMania prices.
Hey, that's an option too.
Yeah. But yeah, that was my weekend 2 weeks ago. And then this past weekend, had the kid and it's my girlfriend's birthday. We went to the botanical gardens and just, doing our workout thing. Like, this shit working out 75 days in a row. I'm only on day 22. My body is not liking me right now.
Yeah, man. That's why rest days are a thing. Give you time, your body time to recover and whatnot. But hey, you got a goal. Keep on going. You about a third of the way there.
Yeah, our rest days are like walking recovery days that we do on Mondays. We go walking down to Chattahoochee for like 3 miles, 2.5 miles. You got to do a 45-minute workout every day. But, my job is very physically demanding too. So it's just like today I was just feeling that shit. Like, I might be too old for this shit.
Hey, happens to the best of us. Now the botanical gardens that's the place with the plants and shit, right?
Yeah, but they had lights and Christmas lights and shit everywhere. So it was like a big fucking Christmas light show and they had a DJ and um they had like cool drinks. Like there was one called apple pie, which was a warm apple cider with cinnamon whiskey in it. And when I tell you this smelled and tasted just like apple pie, it was phenomenal. My daughter got the warm apple cider and Tabitha got like a couple glasses of champagne, and I don't think she got an actual drink though. I think she was just drinking champagne and wine. And went and got ramen. Yeah, that's about it for the weekend. Watched Stranger Things and a couple movies and shit like that. What about you? Anything exciting?
Not on my end. I can't do Christmas before Thanksgiving for some reason. My brain isn't programmed. I gotta have that Thanksgiving and then you get a good 30 days of Christmas stuff.
I agree with you, but this shit is so popular around here and expensive and busy. You better get your shit in now. Even now, like we waited in line to get into the parking lot for 45 minutes.
Damn,
Yeah.
that's dedication.
I mean, we fucking tickets were like $130. I had no
Jesus.
choice. Not $130 each, but like total. I didn't have a choice.
Now, was it a walkthrough the botanical garden?
Yeah, you walk through and you can go in like the buildings and shit like that, and they got like Christmas trees and just lights everywhere. I'd never been there before. It was cool. Um, I'm glad I went, but after it was over, I was like, I could have lived without that.
Yeah, in Charleston, they got this thing in the county park festival of lights. I think it's called. They've been doing it since I was born, so probably a while before I was even born. But you stay in the car, and you drive throughout the whole big ass park and see the
Yeah,
lights, and then halfway through in the middle of it, you get out, and they have like the winter wonderland where you walk through and got train rides for kids and souvenir shop and marshmallow roast and all that shit.
we have a lights thing that you can drive through. It's at the Whitewater Water Park here, and they just take the parking lot and they turn it into a fucking drive-through Christmas light show. It's pretty dope. It's like $50 a car, I think.
Damn.
And you never get out. But I mean, you literally just driving up and down aisles, and it's a pretty good fucking light show.
$50, man. They're like, we getting our money back. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't think $50 is that bad for a whole car. Like you got multiple kids and shit, or a little date night, you and your lady. $50 ain't bad for fucking 30 minutes worth of cool lights.
I say that I can't even tell you what the cost of that festival of lights is now because every time I go, it's like my parents paying for the cars and shit. So you know, so it probably is around that. But I guess it's worth the holiday spirit.
We're talking a lot of travel, and this is a wrestling podcast, so I will tell you that Friday after work, I'm driving up to Winston-Salem, North Carolina for WrestleCade, and I'm very excited for that. Um, I haven't bought any meet and greets. I'm still deciphering whether or not I'm gonna get a Sting signature because I already have him signing like a defining moments figure. And honestly, the only other person there worth getting an autograph from would be Lisa Marie Varon because I could like print out a picture of her being on Boot to the Face, and that would be cool, kind of like the Mickey James picture I got. But I'm not a real big autograph person, and I'm also not a real big picture person. Like, I'd love to have a picture with Tony Storm, but I don't want to pay $60 for it.
I hear you. Lisa Marie, better known as Victoria, right? And Tara.
Yep, yep.
Uh, yeah, I mean, if you're not really a picture person, you don't have to spend your money just to say you did it. You know?
I mean the autographs I've paid for and I've been excited about were I have that world title belt I think I spoke about before on here, and I have Ron Simmons, Booker T, and Mark Henry so far, three of the like seven black world champions in the history of wrestling.
Right.
And I'd love to get
Lashley.
everybody to sign it, but I'll never get The Rock.
You
Um,
hey man, you gotta shoot for the stars. You can get Dwayne one day, maybe.
Man, this motherfucker won't even come on Boot to the Face. Like, we're fucking esteemed podcast. This guy won't even fucking. I can't even get a text back.
Lashley, Swerve. If you talking about AEW.
Yeah, I could, especially now that Lashley's in AEW. I think he'll be definitely doable, and Swerve will be too. I mean, honestly, like, and I'm not mad at this. I'm gonna run out of room for black world champions now. Now I might have to get a women's belt and start getting black women's champions on there. Alicia Fox, Athena.
Sasha / Mercedes.
Mercedes. Oh, I don't think I'll ever get her. I wouldn't want to. I don't think I want to meet her.
Yeah, she might not be what you expect, but you got Kofi, right?
No, never
Oh, I
met
thought you had
Kofi.
Kofi. For some reason, I
And
thought you had
Kofi,
Kofi.
just, I mean, Kofi literally won his the weekend I got Booker T to sign it.
Mm,
So Kofi wasn't even a black world champion then.
mm.
Speaking
You
of
got
Kofi, we
you got
got
Big
we got
E.
some shit to talk
Yeah,
about with New Day
yeah,
later on.
we'll definitely get in that. You got Big E, right?
No, he wasn't no champion either.
Oh shit!
The last one I got was Booker T.
Oh, so the last one you got was 5 years ago.
Actually, I'm sorry. The last one I got was Mark Henry in Dallas. So
Okay.
I got Ron Simmons first, then Booker T, and then I got Mark Henry. And Mark Henry was the one that told me, because he said who else is signature? I said that's Booker T, and that's Ron Simmons. I said I'm trying to get all the Black World Champions, and Mark Henry was like, that's really cool. Like, and I said, yeah. I said I'll probably never get the Rock, and he said, man, let me tell you. He said, and he calls him Dwayne. I call him Rock, because I don't know the nigga. But but Mark Henry said Dwayne had a signing where it was $100,000 each just to get your item into the room and get him to sign it. He said you didn't even get to meet him, but just to know that it was verified and signed by him, it was six figures to get in there. I said, yeah. He said, don't say you're not gonna do it. He said, I ain't telling you can't get it done. He said, I'm just telling you it's gonna be hard. I said, yeah. Ain't a signature in the world worth that much. And he started laughing. He said, I don't blame you, but he said, but I would still keep trying. He said, if you got a goal of getting all the Black World Champions on there, then you try to fucking do it. And I don't know, Mark Henry was cool as shit when I met him.
Yeah, I met him Revolution weekend. Revolution, not this past one we went to, the 2022 one we went to, and
Orlando.
they had a busted open party. Yeah, he was cool. He was kicking it. You could tell he was a little tired. He was sitting down all the time, and I kneeled down and chatted with him. I can't remember what I talked to him about. It was only like a minute or two. But
yeah,
cool dude. But yeah, I mean, I feel like with The Rock, still got big things to do with the podcast and whatnot. I feel like that's something, if like you know somebody that knows somebody, that maybe you could get somebody to get them to do it. But it's not something that you would want to like pay for, like you said, as a fan. Fuck that.
No. I'd love to just be somewhere once somebody's like, The Rock's gonna be here, and I'll just grab my belt and go and see if he signs it. But yeah, I can cross that one off, which I'm fine with. There's certain celebrities that are just like fucking untouchable, and that's one of them. I mean, shit, he was at Access last year, and the motherfucker showed up 3 hours late.
Hey. People always, give him shit. He doesn't represent the Black community enough. He represents in that sense. He on CP time. He's on CPT.
If that ain't a nigga, I don't know what. Motherfucker 3 hours late. Y'all tell me The Rock ain't black? Out of here.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I think you get it, man.
Before we get into the wrestling, EJ, you got any good plans for Thanksgiving?
I'm gonna be in South Carolina, and hopefully maybe make an appearance in Winston-Salem. We'll see.
Nice. My Thanksgiving plans aren't shit. The kids will be with their mom and her side of the family, and the girlfriend will be in Charlotte with her family, and I have to work Friday before I head to Winston-Salem. So honestly, for Thanksgiving, I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna go run a 5K at Turner Field. Well, it's called Center Park Stadium now. Used to be Turner Field where the Braves play. I'll probably go to like one of these fucking bar restaurants around here that are selling Thanksgiving plates instead of cooking the whole thing myself. Buy one of those, come back, watch the Cowboys game, and that might be it. All she wrote, and then fucking go to sleep to get up and hit the gym on Friday morning before work. Hopefully get done with work around 12 o'clock and point the Silverado towards Winston-Salem and try to get there before. If I can get there before the TNA pay-per-view starts, I'll probably pull up to that and grab a general admission ticket and just go watch that.
TNA, I've only been to one TNA show. This was, wow, time's flying. It's almost 20 years ago. It was 18 years ago. It was.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah. I was
Damn,
like,
man, that's
barely
crazy.
an adult. Technically, adult. I was like 18.
I feel like the type of wrestling fan you are too, and the type of personality you got, I feel like you would love a TNA pay-per-view, or not even a pay-per-view, just a TNA show. TNA puts on a really good show.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, I can't remember the name of the Anthem. I definitely haven't been to an Anthem TNA show, so definitely it's probably a different vibe.
You know, as much as I love WCW, and I went and saw it a lot as a kid, and living here in Atlanta, I probably went to 5 or 6 Nitros. But I don't think I ever went to a WCW pay per view. I'm pretty sure I've seen more TNA and AEW shows than I have WCW.
See, I've only been in one WCW show, so definitely I have been to more AEW.
Honest, honestly, I've probably been to more TNA shows than I've been to WWE shows.
Damn, that's crazy.
I've been to a lot of TNA shows.
During the Bischoff era and shit.
Um, the first one I ever went to was Bound for Glory with Sting versus Angle, and that was at that shithole arena that I don't like that AEW goes to. And then just after that, it was just like they were at the Tabernacle. That was the first time I met Mickey James. And then just I was in Vegas one time randomly, and they were there, and we ended up with front row tickets. I went to Mickey James beating Jordan Grace. I've been to see them at Center Stage a couple times. I've seen TNA a lot.
Damn. I didn't know you were the TNA aficionado.
Yeah. I'm on and off with TNA. Like I was real big into them when they switched to Monday nights and they were live on Spike and shit like that. Like when Sting first got there, that main event Mafia era was real big. Like yeah, I was big in TNA. Honestly, WWE is pricing me out right now. Like I can't afford to go see WWE right now. I want to. I want to yeet. You know what I mean? I want to fucking throw my hands up in the air and shit when Jay Uso comes out. I want to see Liv Morgan live. I can't afford that shit though.
Yeah, and we talked about that on a previous episode about the pricing out, but I'm gonna go a little bit off topic. I just think it's funny how Eric Bischoff is on his podcast shitting on AEW a lot, and then I had 86 weeks of 63 weeks in WCW on top. All right, you were the head of TNA. TNA ain't out of business, so what's up with that then?
You know, the more I listen to Eric Bischoff talk, the more he's just a piece of shit. Like the more he's just grasping at straws, trying to stay relevant. Like that's what all and you know, more power to him. If they can brainwash people into thinking that what they have to say is important and people pay for it, good for them. But when I listened to that episode where he was talking about Sting and Hogan at Starrcade, everything he said to me was just bullshit. It's like, come on, man. Like, just tell the fucking truth. Hogan threw a temper tantrum, didn't want to put Sting over, and you didn't have the balls to make him do it because he had creative control. And instead, he does his whole song and dance about why it didn't happen and no, we didn't talk to Nick Patrick. It was a coincidence that Nick Patrick fucked up the count. So you had all this controversy backstage, and Nick Patrick just coincidentally fucked the count up. Nigga, please.
Yeah, we could do a whole separate podcast on that, but I just laugh at him.
Yeah, a lot of these older wrestlers that were there, like I and don't get me wrong, like one of my favorite podcasts, even though it sounded like shit at the beginning of it, was Steve Austin's podcast when he would have wrestlers on. It just felt more real. They were probably all still playing their part, but it felt more real. And I used to love that shit. Like one of my favorite podcasts was Vader on the Steve Austin show, talking about like when he got to WCW, how Sting kind of took him under his wing, and if it wasn't for Sting like working with him, he wouldn't have been where he was, unlike Shawn Michaels, who tried to get him fired because he was a little bitch. But he had a really good interview with Dusty Rhodes, like DDP. Like Austin used to do these really good interviews, and then you got the stuff with like Conrad and Bischoff, and it's like you can just see through it. You know what I mean? Like some of them are good, some of them aren't. And I like more of an organic podcast than I do a this is what our agenda is this week podcast.
Yeah, the one Conrad does with Tony Schiavone ain't half bad. A couple
I
times
do
I
like
listened to
that
him.
one. Yeah.
But yeah, the Bischoff one, like, whatever. And then Jim Cornette's an asshole too. So
I've never listened to Jim Cornette's podcast.
yeah, it's same type of vibe. But even he goes in,
He
he
just
has no
sounds like
filter.
somebody that would complain about Hispanic people and then go to La Parillia after.
Yeah, exactly. You nailed it. Nailed it. But yeah, we don't want to give those guys too much pub.
Yeah, they don't give us any.
Yeah, so fuck them.
Fuck them. You know who we will give pub to? This lady on my shirt right here.
Mickey
The
James.
GOAT, Mickey James.
Shout out to Mickey James. And she's
This
gonna
shirt
be
comes
at
through fucking HD.
she's gonna be at WrestleK, right?
No.
Oh damn, I thought she was at WrestleK. Well, shout out to
She
Mickey
has
James.
been twice already. It was like, I ain't gonna lie. So, one of the coolest moments I ever had in my life, EJ, me and my girlfriend had just started dating. She came to WrestleCade, and Mickey James got a line like out the door. And I walk by, and she goes, Chris Rucker, you better come over here and give me a hug. And my girlfriend's like, looking at me. I'm like, yeah, it's Mickey James. She knows your boy. It happened with my ex-wife too. When we were in either New York or Dallas. I can't remember. It was one of the two WrestleCons. Well, she only went to WrestleCon with me. No, she went to WrestleCon in New York, but it happened in Dallas. And me, my ex-wife, and Hoop were standing there, and I didn't even see this. And apparently, Mickey James saw me and like said something, and I was looking somewhere else. And afterwards, my wife was like, "Your girlfriend was talking about you." I'm like, "Who? Liv Morgan?" She's like, "No." I'm like, "Sasha Banks?" She's like, "No." I'm like, "Becky Lynch?" Amazing that marriage didn't work out.
Oh man. But yeah, shout out to Mickey James.
The GOAT, I call her. Let's get to some wrestling, EJ. Street Clothes Wrestler of the Week. Let's start it off there.
My street clothes wrestler of the week. I hate when people overanalyze things and try to piece things together like they Inspector Gadget or Clue. And I've been
I
hearing so
already
many
know where you're going.
theories with the Bloodline story and Paul Heyman and what is he wearing this and that and this. But I'm gonna go with him. He had the black suit. He had the black handkerchief in his shirt as well. So he
The
looked
red
clean.
t-shirt. Come on, man.
The
You
red
know Paul
t-shirt.
Heyman ain't never dressed like that. He was dressed just like Solo.
There you go. You with those guys then.
EJ, you saw it.
So go with Paul Heyman.
I like that shirt you got.
Yeah, it's fresh off the press.
I see. I just realized that.
Yeah, man. For some reason I got an ad on Facebook. And I'm like, I was drunk. I'm like, fuck it, why not? And I just clicked it. And bought it.
Completely opposite from wrestling. Is that not the worst? When you're like drunk, fucking scrolling on social media, and you just hit next, and the ads come up. About 3 weeks later, you get something in the mail. You're like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah, it did come unexpected too. Like a couple of days ago, I'm like, God, I ordered this shit. Right?
That's funny.
No,
Hey, sometimes
money in.
surprises are good. It's like a Christmas present to yourself.
Exactly. So
When you order stuff drunk, you have no idea it's coming.
there you have it.
My street clothes wrestler of the week, we talked about her earlier, Mercedes Moné. She was looking good on AEW Dynamite.
What happened at Dynamite? More shit stirring with Camille. That's not the one where, because we've been off a couple of shows. It's not the one where she drove her through the wall, was it?
No, it was Statlander whooped her ass, but she was out there. Camille had the cast on and was in between Statlander and Hikaru. And Mercedes came out in the middle of it, and Statlander ended up whooping her ass too. But regardless, she was looking phenomenal. She AEW fans I know hate on her and oh she can't talk and blah blah blah. Shut the fuck up. She looks like a superstar, and dare I say, that was probably her best match she put on in AEW on Saturday.
That was her best match. That was probably one of the best
Yeah.
matches on the card, actually.
Yeah. That match was phenomenal between her and Statlander.
Yeah, and even though she went away from that finishing move, but she even made that look decent in that,
Yeah.
that's the only thing I hate. She pulled
She
it off
still
pretty
used
cleanly.
it,
Yeah, that's what I'm
but
saying.
Statlander kicked out of it. But yeah, that was just, you know, I don't know what it is about these fucking AEW fans, man. They want AEW to succeed, so they say. But then they turn around and they pick apart everything that's different to them. Like, they're not used to a woman of color, a woman in really good shape, and a woman that's really popular and looks phenomenal in whatever she wears. They're not used to that. They can't relate. And I get it. But you know what I can't relate to? Otis. I still cheer for him, but I can't relate to that. Broaden your horizons. Quit just being a hater. I don't like the way she talks. Her promos are trash. Your mom's trash. Shut up.
And I think she's leaning into it because she's a heel. She's not supposed to like it.
She's definitely leaning into it.
So you're not supposed to like her promo. She's kind of being annoying on purpose. I'm with it.
She just looks so damn good though doing it. Not in a pervy way, but just like, how can you not like some? It's like The Rock as a heel. Like, The Rock just looks cool.
Mm-hmm.
You might fucking hate him. You might want to cheer for Cody more, but you put Cody next to The Rock? Come on, man. It's the airport test. Which one of these motherfuckers walking through the airport is going to look like a superstar, Cody or The Rock?
I mean, can't it be both?
Cody ain't going to look like no superstar.
Not if he walked in next to The Rock.
Exactly. He ain't going to look like a superstar walking through Terminal A here in Atlanta.
I mean, he's about 6'1" and that blonde hair. I'm like, who the fuck is this guy?
6'1", 205 is what Cody is. It's a million Brad, Chad, and Tads here in Atlanta that look just like that.
Especially
Only difference is he got that big ass tattoo on his neck.
That too adds to a little bit of lore he has. But yeah, the Rock could probably be walking through the airport with cut off sleeves too. That's
But you know what would make Cody look like a superstar?
What's that?
Brandy.
Yeah.
You add Brandy to the Cody gimmick, Cody looks like a fucking star.
Because an interracial relationship? Like what? I mean,
no, because Brandy's just a fucking like abnormally beautiful person. You're like, who the fuck is that? And who's that dude she's with?
Well, then
is that Dusty's kid?
That kind of goes against the point. And just put Brandy by herself. She just looks like a superstar.
True. Brandy's more of a superstar than Cody. If you're just having people look at him.
Hey, Cody's your boy.
He is. Even though I hate on him on here all the time.
Oh, man.
Even though I want Kevin Owens to beat him.
No. Well, it's not happening at Survivor Series. I got to think about that before that happens. That's a main event. When is main event happening? Saturday night main
Sometime
event?
In December. KO laid out everything, every reason why he turned on Cody, and they all made sense. And Cody said, ain't nobody talking about all this shit. Let's talk about why you haven't been champion in forever.
Yeah, he definitely danced his way around that.
Oh my God. KO standing there like, the fuck are you talking about? No, let's talk about why you team with Roman Reigns. Cody's like, man, that's so 3 months ago.
No, Cody's a politician. He'll turn it around.
He really was. That Homelander came out of him when that shit happened.
Oh, man. Hey. That would be kind of dope if KO won. I don't see it happening. But why not, throw a wrench in the system a little bit, give KO like a reign until Royal Rumble. I don't
Why
know.
not?
I think that would be super dope, but I don't have the pen, so we'll just have to wait and see.
Let's get to some news, EJ.
Let's
The
get it.
WWE just announced last night that they have a women's intercontinental championship as well as the tournament going for the women's United States championship. In your opinion, do you feel this is warranted to have two women's secondary titles? And I know this is a question that I didn't prepare you for. Who do you think are going to win each title?
I see. I was ready for the US, but I was thinking about the IC title, like, and that goes to your first question. I don't think they need two mid card titles. One for right now, but then, like I said earlier, how could you have your mid card title floating between two shows and then not have your world? You have two different world titles. That didn't make sense logistically. But I guess in that it's like it was time. But the roster as constructed now, I don't think they need two mid card women's titles. But you got the draft, I guess, next year. If you start bringing more NXT women up, then yeah, you'll need the two mid card women's titles. But as far as right now, like I'm trying to think off the top of my head of Raw's women's division. You got Damage Control, Io Sky, Kyrie Sane. Io's a former world champion, so I doubt they put it on her. They may. Uh, Ivy Nile, Natty. I hope they don't do with Natty. She doesn't need it. And then I'm trying to think of more mid card women. Oh, you got the Pure Fusion Collective, those girls. So I say give it to Shayna. Why not have Shayna win the IC Women's title? That's just a throwing shit at the wall and see if it sticks. But as far as the women's US title, I'm gonna say Chelsea. I'm gonna stick with that.
I'm all for it. I like having a secondary women's championship. And I have two names for Chelsea. I completely agree with for the U.S. title. There's nobody that should become the first champion. She could talk about that shit the rest of her career. You know me. I love chicken shit heels that are the first of everything, or they win something that they can like. I wanted Nia to be queen of the ring just to have her talk shit, and that's what she's doing. I wanted Tiffany to win Money in the Bank. She could talk shit. I would love for Chelsea. And I don't even want Chelsea to like beat the best people. Like the fact that Bianca left and Chelsea pinned uh B Priestley. I can't think of her real name on Raw.
Blair Davenport.
Yeah. The fact that she pinned Blair Davenport and Bianca wasn't there. I love that. I love that Chelsea's winning and the major players aren't involved in it. As far as the women's US title, I have two names that
IC
I
title
think
of the
should
women
win.
of the US.
I'm sorry, the IC title on Raw. I have two names that I think should do it. Lyra Valkyria,
That makes sense.
and my other name that I think should win, Zelina Vega.
Oh man, I forgot. I switched from Shane. I forgot about Zelina. Zelina should definitely win it, even though I think she's world title worthy. But gotta build herself
Let
a
me
little
tell
bit.
you, this was a hard decision. Let me just name off the women's wrestlers on Raw: Zoe Stark, Zelina Vega, Sonya Deville, Shayna Baszler, Scarlett, Rhea Ripley,
Scarlett gonna
Nikki
wrestle.
Cross, Natalia, Maxine Dupree, Lyra Valkyria, Kiana James, Liv Morgan, Caden Carter, Katana Chance, Kyrie Sane, Io Sky, Isla Dawn, Ivy Nile, Dakota Kai. They got Becky Lynch still listed, even though she's kind of retired. Asuka, even though she's hurt, and Alba Fire. That's a good women's division.
Yeah, they're a little bit deeper than I thought. Maybe I'm thinking SmackDown's a little bit more shallow, but
If
yeah,
you call up a couple NXT women in the next couple months, that's a great division to have a world title feud and the IC title feud. But I think between Zelina Vega and Lyra Valkyria, you can't have everybody be a heel. So having a babyface on Raw and a heel on SmackDown would be great to win those titles.
Lyra is very solid, very sound in the ring. I just need to see a little bit more of her. She's like the happy to be here face right now. I need to see a
Yeah.
little bit more. Maybe an IC title will give her a kick in the pants that she needs to elevate the character a little bit more. But a wild card though, Maxine Dupree, even though she's not all the way in there in ring wise, you know, fans will go
I
crazy
feel
over it
like
though.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, that's all I got.
I feel like she would be a good candidate to win the title, like the third or fourth champion. The first champion, I don't subscribe to that.
She needs to be the workhorse like it's supposed to for the first champion.
I feel like she could steal a win versus the first champion and then lose it like a month later. Like
I wouldn't be mad
she'd
if
have
she
like a Jey Uso run with the title.
even a week later it wouldn't be bad.
Yeah. A day later, she went on the house show and lose it on Raw the next night.
Was it a house show Bob Backlund style? But yeah, I'm guessing they're gonna name the people in the tournament next week for the IC.
Yeah. We spoke about this earlier, talking about the U.S. title tournament. Jade Cargill gets found laid out, thrown through a windshield. Leg looked like it was contorted a different way. WWE listed all the injuries that she had, and it was a bunch of words I can't pronounce. Um, who do you think attacked Jade Cargill?
Right. Who done it? And before we get into that, I'm hearing that it's a legit injury, maybe that she maybe having some neck issues. Is that you hear anything about that?
I have not actually, but that would make sense if they did, because it doesn't make sense they would take her out of the tournament. Because as much as they want to protect her, she's not that fucking important to take her out. So she's actually really hurt. That makes way more sense.
I think I heard it, so I haven't read anything, which I probably should do a research, being on a podcast, but I heard it like on another show and whatnot. But yeah, I feel like they might do a twist and maybe have Bianca do it, or it could be, Naomi. Either way, black on black crime, which we don't subscribe to on the show.
Naomi was very she changed the subject real quick when Bianca was asking her about it, didn't she?
Yeah, she did. Or they could go to oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I said, or they could go the easy route and have it have been Bailey. Looks like Bailey's about to take the spot on War Games. So.
Could you imagine, EJ, one of your really good friends gets attacked and you're sitting there talking to another friend of yours about it, and this motherfucker's wearing a jacket that's got lights just fucking glowing on it the whole time? You're like, man, I really need to know who fucking threw Rucker off the train. And fucking Black Ice is sitting there with a jacket on with lights on it. Like, can you be a little bit more serious right now?
Like you hit the off just for 2 seconds while we try to sort this out.
But yeah, a lot of people trying to blame Naomi. I hope it is Naomi. That'd be a good little heel turn for her.
What if it's Naomi first, and then further down the line, Bianca is the mastermind behind getting Naomi doing it?
Ooh, what if it is Bianca?
I wouldn't be on a Bianca heel turn. I don't know if they'll do it. I feel like they're positioning her to be basically like the John Cena of the women's division, but she hasn't been a heel on the main roster yet. I wouldn't be mad at that.
That'd be dope. I think if it was Bianca that did it and she's going around questioning everybody else.
Little twist. Yeah.
I loved her getting in Rhea's face last night.
I thought she was in somebody else's face.
No, she was talking to Naomi, and then Io pulled up and she was like, "Bitch, I don't even like damage control. Like, I'm just putting up with you." And then Rhea rolled up and was like, "I just want Liv." She's like, "Well, if you call it Team Rhea, what's the plan?" And Rhea's like, "I don't know." She's like, "Great fucking leadership, bitch."
Oh, yeah, I did
while
remember
while
that.
you over here being a shitty leader, I'm gonna go get us the advantage at War Games. I was like, damn. And you know what else I liked about Bianca?
What's that?
Vanessa Hudgens was at Monday Night Raw last night.
I saw that.
That is it's a name on my list, EJ.
She seems pretty eclectic, like
Yeah.
Jill of all trades, so to speak. I feel like I see her at a lot of random sporting events and random things for some reason, not just wrestling. I saw her on something else. Maybe it was UFC or NBA, or she seems like all over the place. Shout out to Vanessa.
Like Hillary Duff, Kelly Rowland, Vanessa Hudgens, Christina Milian.
Yeah, Christina Milian, she's very active on social media. She's still up there, man.
Ooh, I need a
Take care of
fifth.
herself.
I don't have a fifth. But yeah, Hillary Duff, Kelly Rowland, Vanessa Hudgens, Christina Milian. That's 4 of the top 5 right there.
There you go.
That's a damn good list. Meg Thee Stallion. There we go.
There you go. Round it off.
Ah. Speaking of top 5, EJ, let's get the power rankings.
Yes, sir. Who you got?
Number 5. We talked about him earlier. He's dressing like Solo Sikoa. I know he doesn't wrestle, but Paul Heyman made a hell of a wave this week in wrestling, bringing CM Punk out to team with the Bloodline. Now, I don't like it. It makes no fucking sense, but
What do you
got
mean
people
doesn't make
talking.
sense?
Roman tried to call Paul Heyman and his number was disconnected. They have had no communication, and Paul Heyman just shows up with CM Punk. It doesn't make sense.
Well, didn't Solo break Paul Heyman's phone before he got powerbombed through the table and whatnot?
Breaking somebody's phone and disconnecting their line are two different things.
Paul Heyman's a old head. You think he knows how to work technology like that and take SIM
Yeah,
cards out? And
he's got his own website with like 23-year-old women posing half naked on it.
Either way, he's not always there when you call, but he's always on time. And he came with a Paul Heyman guy. That's all you need to know to connect the dots.
I really hope the history between Roman and Punk comes up, where when Punk left WWE, he tried to. I've said this forever. When the fans turned on Roman, it was because of CM Punk. CM Punk went on every podcast he could when he left WWE and told everybody, like, Roman's a Vince McMahon guy. Vince just wants to make Roman look strong. That was the thing back in the day. Make Roman look strong. And fans fucking shit on this guy for the longest. And he didn't deserve it at all. But Punk had to get his shit in before he left. Roman has on record saying he doesn't fucking like Punk. But Roman's more of a mature, cool, calm, and collected person, not like Seth Rollins, who like goes on every podcast like, I fucking hate this guy. Roman never really gave CM Punk the time of day. If they can have a feud, I would love it.
I think that's where they're going towards by the tension that was showed in the ring. So I'm all for it, but I don't think it'll be the next exact thing that happens though, because Roman's still got unfinished business with the bloodline and whatnot. I think post-Mania happened, especially with the tension that they're showing. But I'm all for it, like you said. My honorable mention, I got to give a shout out to Bobby Lashley, getting his first pay-per-view AEW win over Swerve. But my number 5, a woman we talked about earlier, got a big win, triple threat match with Blair Davenport and Bianca Belair. That's nothing to sneeze at. Chelsea Green. It's my number 5.
Nice.
Number 4, woman we just spoke about as well, Bianca Belair beat the WWE Women's Champion kind of clean. Bailey kind of helped out. But
it wasn't kind of clean.
I mean,
Bailey literally cheated. She
went into the rope, like the way she went in the rope. She didn't even go like directly into the exposed turnbuckle. It was weird. It was weird.
Regardless if she fucked it up or not, Bailey still cheated.
And it's not becoming of a babyface, Bailey. But Bianca got the 450 splash, got the win over your women's champion, and now the women on I don't even know what team you call it, Team Rhea. They got the advantage at War Games. It's always interesting having a face team have the advantage on War Game.
Yeah, it's different. I'm just not a Bailey guy.
You've mentioned that before.
I don't know what it is. I just I've just never. I don't know.
I like Bailey.
Not my cup of tea. She's good. Like, she's put on really good matches. Like the match of her and Sasha in Brooklyn. She had a couple good matches with Becky. She had really good matches. When she was, doing the ding dong thing, her and Mercedes, like they carried the COVID era. But I don't know. Number 4 for me, defeated his longtime buddy / rival, Will Ospreay, Kyle Fletcher. What a match.
Yeah. I go back and forth one match of the night between that and the Mercedes match, but hell of a match.
Number 3, you had him as an honorable mention. He just fucking tapped out a former world champion. Lashley. Leader of the Hurt Syndicate, Bobby Lashley, gets his first pay-per-view win in AEW.
I hate to speculate too much because I just like to see how things play out, but MVP mentioned that they're not done adding people. Is it going to be Max Caster or is it going to be somebody like Powerhouse or Leo?
I feel like they should add a tag team. So I think the Acclaim would be really good. They should whoop the shit out of Billy Gunn, kick him off of TV, and get the Acclaimed in the Hurt Syndicate. You could have Shelton win the Continental Classic, Lashley end up with the world title, and the Acclaim get the tag team titles. They got all the belts.
So you think this is going to be a tease? I thought they were going to go towards the Acclaim splitting up.
They were doing it with Top Flight too. I don't know. I think MVP can bring them back together.
We shall see. That would be interesting. My number 3, you had him. I think it's your number 4 or 3. Kyle Fletcher, like you said, him and Ospreay had a hell of a match, and I don't want to get too much into this, but you had old heads on podcast complaining about tombstones on staircases, and Randy Orton got put out by it. You shouldn't kick out of it. I don't really give a fuck.
I agree with them, but I disagree also. Like, we don't work in the same company. I don't give a fuck if Randy Orton got power drove, but I do think the bastardization of moves like the power driver and the DDT in companies like AEW and indie companies, I think it's kind of bullshit. Like a jumping tombstone onto stairs, he should be dead.
Man, it is what it is. For some reason, stuff like that, maybe I'm just how my eyes are conditioned. That doesn't attract me away from the match.
Yeah.
all of these things, a suplex should technically have you done. You do that, you do a suplex in UFC, that's it. Pretty much.
Talk to Rampage Jackson. You suplex niggas left and right.
Yeah, so I get it. It's a move that devastating. It's levels of devastation of moves. But at the end of the day, it's wrestling.
Yeah.
But
and I think that's what the big disconnect is. Like, there's guys like me that say you guys are fucking up moves like the pile driver and the DDT and all that. And then there's a guy like you. We do a fucking podcast together. Like, for the most part, our wrestling IQ and everything is about the same. I feel one way about it. You feel the complete opposite. So they're looking for guys like you that just, that doesn't bother me. Like, yeah, he got tombstone on the fucking stairs, whatever. And so I think that's where the disconnect is with the old heads. They're like, well, this should only be done this way. And it's like, you have a whole generation of people that don't see it like you do. Like, you need to fucking open your eyes a little bit and come along with the new age of stuff.
so it's not like it doesn't bother me at all, but it doesn't have me causing sleep. I'm like, that's a devastating move. You probably should save that for later, but that doesn't make me mad like it does some
Right.
of them. Yeah. Like, of course, a tombstone on the fucking stairs, that should be a finishing move. But I still think it was a fucking good match, and I'm not gonna get my panties in the water about it. But like you said, even younger fan, 10 years older than me, 25-year-old, be like, that doesn't bother them at all. So like, it's levels to it.
And honestly, you want to talk about ring psychology? He tombstoned him on some stairs, and the move that he won with was a move that fucked Ospreay's neck up.
Yeah.
So he was literally setting it up for later. Psychology.
Well, I don't think, like you said, a company should dictate what they're doing based on another company. Just because people in that other company can't get pile driven doesn't mean we can't do it over here. But then again, like y'all are, you do think you get a little bit, you know, desensitized if y'all, just bastardizing every single move. So it's, what they say, moderation is the key to life.
Who we at? Or is it my turn?
No, I think I still got my number two. My number two, like we talked about earlier, probably the match of the night. Mercedes Moné defeating Chris Statlander and still your TBS champion. Like we said, probably her best match. So I heard one theory, I can't remember where I heard it on. They're saying that she just works better with people that are a little bit bigger than her, and if they're similar size, I guess it's kind of maybe hard to like work out who's the alpha woman. Fuck that. Britt Baker is just not. It's just not it. All the other matches have been.
They're trying to make
good.
excuses for Britt Baker. I agree with you, EJ. Fuck that.
I was thinking about it, like, she hasn't had a bad match except even the Britt Baker wasn't terrible, but it was probably her worst match. But it's the common denominator of Britt Baker. So yeah,
I agree. Like, honestly, Mercedes she's a better babyface wrestler, but she's a better heel in personality.
Mm-hmm.
Because she sells her ass off, and she's so small compared to like a Statlander or a Nyla Rose or even fucking Queen Amanada. Like, she's so small compared to all of them, right? She can sell her ass off. She's an Eddie Guerrero fan.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I get the babyface wrestler part of it, but she's so good. It's just for lack of a better word, just a bitch, right? Like, she comes out and just tells you how great she is, how rich she is, how gorgeous she is. Like, you just want to hate her. But then when she's wrestling, you're like, fuck, man, get up. Come on, you got this. So it's a weird dichotomy of a wrestling personality, but it's also 2024, the year of our Lord. Like, you got to adjust. So I agree.
Yeah, and you know, I hate fantasy booking, even though for some reason I do it from time to time here, even though I hate it. Like, I'm contradicting myself, but I think the way they're setting it up is you have Camille be the TBS champion, former what? She's probably one of the longest NWA champions of modern history. I know somebody
The
had the measure.
longest. Sorry, you talked about Camille. I started yawning. I don't know what happened there.
See what you did there. Hey, Fabulous Moolah, she probably had it the longest though ever though, right? She had it for like decades. But modern day, Camille, I can see Camille taking the TBS championship off of Mercedes, and then Mercedes
Ugh.
running with the world title next year.
Who you gonna have Mercedes beat Mariah?
Nah, probably be a title change in between. Maybe Tony gets another short run and
Mina.
Mercedes take it off her.
Whew, Mina.
Yeah.
Mina almost got fucking street clothes rest of the week in that little black dress.
Yeah, I see that you're a big Mina fan. Wonder why.
I give you 2 reasons. My number 2, Moxley. Still your AEW World Champion, defeats Orange Cassidy. Big time clusterfuck at the end of this match, but the match itself just brutal. Moxley's got, I don't know what they're doing with the world title situation. Like, we haven't seen the world title since he won it and put it in that briefcase. Are they changing it?
I don't know. That part of it, the story, I'm kind of still intrigued. Like, why are they hiding the world title? So, yeah, I don't know what the hell they're doing. You know, as far as once we see it next.
My number 1, Mercedes Money. We talked about it earlier. Her and Chris stacked Lander because, just a great match.
Yeah,
Best match Mercedes had since AEW. Best match Statlander's had in a while. Just a really good fucking match.
and longest women's match in AEW history. So,
Oh
shout out to
wow,
both women. Yep,
nice.
just under 20 minutes, which is crazy to think about. But you know, maybe the next step will be a Iron Woman's match. I guess we'll see. But yeah, we flip flop. My number 1 is Jon Moxley, still your AEW World Champion, and I guess that's a good segue. We didn't even talk about Full Gear. You said you didn't like the end after the match.
Yeah, it was just a clusterfuck. Like Darby coming out in a car, and it's like you had Orange Cassidy be your main event challenger. He loses, and he's such a fucking afterthought because of all the other shit that happened. You had Christian Cage running in. Hangman Page, who lost earlier to Jay White. Jay White coming in, stopping Christian Cage from, like, what the fuck is going on? Is Hangman a babyface now?
Yeah, and that was my sentiment the first time watching. I'm like, all right, y'all are just stuffing 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag, and this is all over the place. And I wasn't a fan of it. And I don't know if I'm still a fan of it, but they're trying to have something stick, and then most of the talking heads agree with us, like, well, it's just a lot. But then I heard one podcast, I think it might have been on the Wrestling Network, and they kind of looked at it from a different perspective. And like, even though I'm still not a fan of it, but I'm like, yeah, I mean, not you could present something in a different way, because I think we're so conditioned with WWE, especially in the Triple H era, everything is calculated and everything, is planted and boils up and cooks for a week, and you're connecting this with that. But they mentioned, like, if you go back and look at some of the Sting storyline when leading up to Starrcade and look at some of those Nitros, they did a lot of the same stuff of like having this everybody running the ring. Same with the Attitude Era when Vince McMahon and Stone Cold, yeah, just everybody running in the ring and this happening, and like the Straws listen to, they liked it. I mean, I guess if you present it differently, trying something different, but I wish it would have been a little more focused, but it seems like they're trying to position people to be the next challenges for Moxley, even though I don't agree of them doing it so many people at the same time, especially Christian. Maybe if you would have taken Christian away and just did Hangman, who else came out? I can't even remember.
Jay White.
Yeah, the Jay White.
Why is Hangman out there though? He just lost to Jay White again.
Like I said, I don't.
By the
like
way,
it.
I would have had a clean sweep had Hangman won with our picks from.
You picked Hangman. I thought you picked Jay White. Oh, Jay White did win.
Yeah, I picked Hangman. That was the only one I got wrong the whole night.
Well, not to try to hedge my bet. I wanted to pick something different from you. I didn't want to pick Jungle Boy or Statlander, but I like fuck it. I just want to be different because we would have had all the same picks.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I just got to see how they follow up with it. I didn't like why is Hangman out there like you said, and Darby chasing. I get why Darby is out there, but why is Hangman and Jay White out there? I haven't seen either one of them have any interactions with Moxley anytime in the near past, but I get why Christian is trying to cash in. He's trying to be an opportunist, but yeah, I don't get the Hangman. So the Hangman and Jay White could have been cut out of it, and then, you probably wouldn't have got so many complaints. But, I was just trying to see somebody else's perspective that actually liked it. And I only really got one show that actually liked it. But, hey, man, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like it was more of an ending of a Dynamite than it was a pay-per-view. Like, let Moxley stand over Orange Cassidy, win the match, and all that other shit could have happened on Wednesday. But, que sera, sera.
But if he would have did that, people would be like, that's it? Like, no continuation? So, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah, but the continuation, they had nothing happen. Like, Darby crashed their car, they jumped in another car and still fucking left. And now you're like, well, is Hangman a babyface? Why is Hangman coming out getting involved in the world title match when he just lost to Jay White? Why is Jay White worried about Christian when he just beat Hangman, who just beat the fucking former world champion in Swerve? So Jay White should technically be next in line for the world title. Like, they got some explaining to do.
I'm sure they will on Dynamite. I just hope they're not too long-winded.
Don't say you're sure they will, because they haven't before.
Well, hopefully they will. I just hope whoever's out there promo's not too long-winded. That's one thing that a road agent needs to kind of wrangle in. Sometimes they drag along a little bit I like the, how they're going out there and having a promo explain themselves, but you can cut it down a little bit, but we'll see with Dynamite. But besides that, what else did you like about the show?
This actually wasn't one of my favorite AEW shows. It had a really good match with Ospreay and Fletcher, Mercedes and Statlander, and Lashley getting a big win was a big one. And I love the Mina and Mariah May thing, but other than that, it was just long for the sake of being long.
What about AJ and Big Justice? They bring the boom.
I was entertained by that. I can't even lie to you. I'm not one of these AEW fans that are like, oh, this is so stupid. I can't believe they're doing that. It's so WWE. That shit was phenomenal. Like, especially if you paid any attention to them outside of wrestling, like, and to know that the dad was actually a wrestler back in the day. Like, that's good shit, man. We had Snooki at WrestleMania. Like, shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? Like, people that are complaining. Snooki wrestled at WrestleMania.
Exactly. And, like, it was on the pre-show, so no harm, no foul. Hey, the Rizzler was getting all his use of his camera time. Every time the camera showed the Rizzler, he was getting it in. But yeah, I wasn't mad at it. And I think they said it was the third most watched wrestling clip this year. And that was just off of one day. So that might pull ahead. Never know. Because they got the social media present. So, you know, like you said, the diehards that are shitting on it, the numbers don't lie. So I'm sure Tony will try to find another social media star to pop in near future as well. So, but back to your thoughts on the overall pay per view. I put it up there with it's right on par with Double or Nothing. I'd say. I think it was better than Wrestle Dream, but it's right there at Double or Nothing. This past year's Double or Nothing wasn't like the classic Double or Nothing, so I put that on like tier 2. And then Revolution, that's probably the best pay per view. We were there, and Dynasty was up there. I went to Dynasty too, so maybe I'm biased. I thought that was really good, and then All In, of course. So
Yeah,
I don't know. Go back and forth. I go back and forth between Revolution and All In, and it's their best pay per view. That's tier 1. So yeah. So
yeah.
I think this pay per view was like on that second tier.
Well, EJ, let's move right along from AEW and get to these Survivor Series predictions. What do you think?
Let's get it, man.
Survivor Series coming to you this Saturday from Is it Montreal? Where are they coming from?
They are coming from Vancouver, British.
Vancouver. Our boy
Opposite
JP, Rat's House of Retro, will be there. I'm excited about it. I probably won't watch it live because I'll be in Winston-Salem, but I will watch it Sunday morning when I wake up and I'm at the gym.
Hey, nothing like a little wrestling and treadmill.
Yeah, so I'll stay off the old Twitter machine. You want to pull the matches up, EJ, and we'll go ahead and predict them?
I do have it in front of me, and it's a nice, concise, like they always seem to do in this TKO era, 5-match card. But you also got 2 War Games matches, so it's wise to put it 5 matches. But I hope they may integrate this in the future. You could have War Games be the feature, but why not throw a traditional Survivor Series match on the undercard?
I like the Survivor Series elimination matches, man. Like,
yeah,
that's the whole point of Survivor Series. You can't call it that if you don't have those on there.
yeah.
Who's booking this shit? Tony Khan?
But 5-match card. The ones that aren't Survivor Series, War Games matches are title matches, and this has it kicking this off. So I don't know the order of it, but LA Knight, your U.S. champion versus Shinsuke Nakamura. This just seems a little bit rushed.
I want to pick Shinsuke.
Well, pick him.
I will.
I do not have Shinsuke. I feel like this is just another feud to elevate LA Knight's title reign. I'm going with LA Knight. Yeah. Next up, triple threat. Braun Breaker, your IC champion, versus Sheamus versus Ludwig Kaiser.
I got Braun Breaker. Sheamus is never going to win the IC title.
I think he will. Not here, but I feel like that's going to be his last little thing to finally get him. He's not a Grand Slam champion until he has that, right?
Yeah.
But not tonight. Braun Breaker, I have as well. Your ring general, Gunther.
I put through the table last night.
He did.
There ain't a chance in hell. Damon Priest is winning this match.
Yeah. They kind of telegraphed it by Gunther getting his ass whooped like that. So I'm going with Gunther as well. Women's War Games. See, I feel like this could have been a Survivor Series match. Like, they kind of rushed it to be a War Games match, but whatever. Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Naomi, Io Sky, and I didn't know Bayley got officially announced. I'm not looking on WWE's website. This is Wikipedia, but they have Bayley as the 5th member versus Judgment Day, Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, Nia Jax, Tiffany Stratton, and Candice LeRae.
Can we just have Liv Morgan wear those heels every week? Never mind. I got the baby faces.
Me too. I got the baby faces as well. Your main event? OG Bloodline, Roman Reigns, Usos, Sami Zayn, CM Punk versus Bloodline 2.0, Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, Tamatanga, Tonga Lower, and Big Bronson Reed.
Give me Bloodline 2.0.
I'm going to go with that one too, because I think they got more story to tell with tension and the OG Bloodline and what we see. Yeah.
This week, Paul Heyman comes back, right?
Uh-huh.
Nobody is happier to see Paul Heyman than Jey Uso. About a year ago, when Jey Uso was having his issues with the Bloodline, he called Paul Heyman a rat. Said, I'll never join back up to the Bloodline unless your ass is gone. Like, they started a beef with Jey Uso and Paul Heyman, and it never got worked out. And I just think that's, for as good as the Bloodline storyline is, I think for them to have cracks in the wall like that, I think that's going to come back.
Yeah.
I could be grasping at straws. Maybe that was something they were trying to go for, and with injuries and time off, it just didn't come to pass. And now they're hoping we forgot about it. But like, this was a thing. Like, Jey Uso literally told Paul Heyman, "You the reason I ain't coming back to the Bloodline."
Yeah. It's definitely going to be some twists and turns. When in Paul Heyman's career, besides when he was the boss of ECW, where he's been a babyface, best he's been a tweener, like some of the Brock years, but he's never been a straight up like face. So yeah, something's happening. This ain't gonna be all kumbaya, rainbows and sunshine. But
Like you said, he was dressed like Solo.
you said that. Yeah, but that's how they got us. We got to see what happens with that. But that's it for the Survivor Series card.
NFL, let's do that and get the fuck up out of here, EJ. I don't know about you, but I got turkey to cook.
Oof. Frying it or baking it or smoking it?
No fucking turkey, EJ. I hate turkey. I'm just trying to get out of here.
Oh man. Yeah, it's been 2 weeks since we did our picks.
Yeah. I did smoke a bunch of drumsticks last night though. They were really good.
Yeah, I saw your social media. Cook it up, in the words of Craig. So yeah, week 11, I went 11-3. I did really good, and you did good too. You did 9-5 week 11, and then last week I did 9-4, and you did 10-3.
Hey, there we go. Got you by one. No, you got me by one game overall.
No, last week 12, you got me. I was 9.
Yeah, but overall, you beat me by 2 games the other week.
Oh.
And so overall, yeah, I got you. You got me by 1 game.
Well, overall, I'm 110-69, and you're 96-83.
Yeah,
for the whole
14
season.
Game league. It's fine. I got time.
So, still time. You're saying there's a chance. So let's get into week 13. I have it up. I just gotta pull it up. Thanksgiving games.
Yeah, 3 of them.
New York Football Giants traveling to our Dallas Cowboys.
Give me the Cowboys.
Danny Dimes, they got rid of him.
They got Danny DeVito now.
Tommy
DeVito. I said Danny DeVito.
Might as well
Tommy DeVito.
Might have a better chance with Danny DeVito, actually.
I've been watching Penguin lately. You might be right.
I gotta catch up with it. The episode I saw was terrific, though. Shout out to Colin Farrell.
Yeah, it's a pretty good show.
Shit. I got the Cowboys as well. Bears at Lions.
Detroit.
I got Detroit as well. This is the flex game, not the traditional teams. They started that about 15 years ago. The night game to cap it off. You got Dolphins going to Lambeau Field. I got the Packers.
Give me the Dolphins.
Alrighty. Raiders going into your hometown of Kansas City, Missouri to take on the Chiefs.
Oof, Kansas City damn near lost to Carolina.
That's on the road, though.
This is a division game, too. I'll take the Chiefs, but I'm not confident about it.
I got the Chiefs as well. I don't think it's close, man. I went off a limb and picked the Raiders last week just for shits and giggles, and they disappointed me like always. And they were at home, so you never know. It's NFL. Any given Sunday, as they say. Steelers at Bengals. Shit. Give me the Bengals. You got Pittsburgh? Give me the Bengals.
Yeah.
You are a fan of Mr. Unlimited.
I do like him. I hate the Steelers, though. But I'm a big Russell Wilson guy. I mean, how can you not be a fan of somebody that married Sierra?
Fan of his choice in that woman.
Have you seen the ride video, EJ?
It is spectacular.
She was twerking on the fucking rims.
Anybody that hasn't seen it, do your research.
Ride, R-A-R-I-D-E, Sierra, C-I-A-R-A.
Arizona Cardinals traveling.
Watch it on mute.
Yeah, I know, right? Cardinals traveling to Minneapolis, Minnesota in that cold weather, even though they're in the dome.
Ooh, I smell an upset. Give me Kyler Murray and the Cardinals.
This would be where the upset happens, but I'm going to go Vikings. Colts traveling to Foxborough to face New England Patriots.
Ooh, what a shit game. I'll take the Colts just because the Patriots are trash.
I got Colts as well. Seahawks traveling to New Jersey to face the New York Jets. I got Seahawks.
Yeah, give me Geno. Geno and the boys.
Titans traveling to Washington, D.C. to face the Commanders, who both of us picked the win against our lowly Cowboys, and they fucking blew it and messing our number one pickup. But whatever.
What a great game.
Yeah. That was a weird game. Cowboys had the bag. Yeah.
How are you up a touchdown and you let a motherfucker go 85 yards untouched with 20-something seconds left? Like, I was just like, I knew they were going for two, and then they went for the extra point, and Greg Olson's like, everybody calm down. He still got to make the extra point. I'm like, holy shit, Greg Olson's right. Like, their kicker's trash. And he missed.
Like, I'm whooping your ass in the locker room. That's like a free throw.
Like, you missed one field goal and 2 extra points.
It's the yips, man. The yips.
Nobody said shit to Shaq, though. This motherfucker shot 50% from the free throw line his whole career.
He was that dominant, you could get away with that. This guy, I don't know who this guy is, for the Washington Commanders. Like, you gotta tighten up, or you will not be in the league. I got Commanders though, bouncing back.
Who are they playing?
Titans.
Yeah, I got the Commanders. Oh no, I got the Titans.
All right.
Tony Pollard game. Will Levis. They're gonna go ahead.
Texans at the Fighting Tony Khan and Shad Khan in Jacksonville taking on the Jaguars. Yeah, I got Houston as well. I don't know what's going on. The Jags. Rams at Saints. Give me the Rams in this one.
Yeah, give me the Rams.
Bucks at Panthers. What about Baker Mayfield giving the New York crowd the Tommy DeVito? He's showing his ass a little bit now.
Yeah, I'll take Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, I got the Bucks as well. Ooh, this will be an interesting one. Eagles. This is not even like a Sunday night game. This is it's a 4 o'clock game, but Eagles at Ravens. I got the Ravens.
Yeah, I'll take the Ravens also. No, I got the Eagles.
All right. So it's a almost like a win-win situation for you. You hate the Eagles if they lose. They lose. If they win, then you get the win for
Yeah.
your picks. But I got Lamar Jackson. 49ers at Bills. What a fall from grace for the 49ers. And they got to go in that cold. I'm picking the Bills in this one.
I got the Bills also, and who the fuck thought the Bills would be this good this year? I thought they would fall off, especially after they traded Stephon Diggs.
Yeah,
And
for some reason
Amari Cooper's been hurt.
didn't have a lot of faith in the Bills. They're
I
just
don't have a lot
like
of faith in Josh Allen. He's been balling. I got to give it to him. I've hated on the guy, but he's been balling this year.
I'm not a Josh Allen fan either, but he's just like one of those guys. All right, he'll get wins in the regular season, but when it matters the most, folds like a lawn chair.
Yeah, I don't subscribe to that theory because I have a bad. I'm a Dak guy, right? And like Dak's really good in the regular season, and when they get to the playoffs, the defense just kind of shits the bed, and he takes all the heat for it. So I don't know if I subscribe to that theory.
Well, I feel like the Bills have good defense, and sometimes some guys just have the better. Yeah, I feel like Mahomes is just better than Allen.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Mahomes better than everybody. Like,
So, and this is the Monday game. Browns at Broncos. I feel like the Thursday games have been better than the Monday games. Like, remember the Thursday games used to be the ones that I feel like it's maybe because Amazon has it now, but Browns at Broncos Monday Night Football.
I got the Browns. I think the Browns might end up making the playoffs.
Yeah,
Jameis Winston.
You've been you've been entertained by the Jameis Winston, but I'm going with Broncos in this one. And that takes us to the end of our NFL picks.
Well, EJ, before I toss it to you, I just want to tell everybody Happy Thanksgiving, Happy Raping and Pillaging Day.
It's
I'm
true.
sorry. Yeah, it is. Hopefully you enjoy your time off. I know a lot of people are off the rest of the week and so forth. Enjoy time with friends and family. Don't drink and drive. Don't stress yourself out with money and stuff like that about Christmas. Buy what you can afford and don't worry about the rest. If family and friends are mad at you because you didn't get gifts for them, then they're probably not your good family and friends. But I would say don't stress yourself out about stuff like that. And just enjoy the holidays, man. Enjoy it with either your family or your friends, or if you like being solo like I do, fucking take some time to yourself and do it. Watch some wrestling. Don't be so critical of it. Unless a motherfucker's tombstoning somebody on some steps and they get right back up, then you're more than welcome to. But yeah, just enjoy these last couple weeks of the year. 2024 is coming to an end. Be safe, be careful, watch out for one another. And I heard somebody on the podcast the other day say you never know what other people are going through, so just be nice to everybody. And that, I don't know why, it fucking hit home. Like, you don't know what other people are going through. Just people, stop being dicks to people for no reason. Just be nice. It don't cost you a goddamn thing to be nice to people. So that's all I got.
Amen to that. Not much to add to that, but since you mentioned the pillaging and raping, I'll just say happy holidays to everybody and be safe out there. And that's all I got.
For EJ Reed, I'm Chris Rucker. This has been Boot to the Face. We'll see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Peace.
Yeah. really got it bumping. Leg drop, boot to the face, we won't fold. Quick to put a dude.